Hey, thanks for joining us on this Friday edition of Talk Back. This is our Chamber of Commerce Day, and we are thrilled to have with us Director of Membership for the Chamber, Mr. Mark Loesch. Also with us, Justin Philbrick, the owner of two of our favorite restaurants, Jaker's Bar and Grill and the Red Robin. So, gentlemen, welcome to Talk Back.
Thank you so much for being here, Peter. I'm enjoying this monthly event immensely. Looking forward to when we can get back in studio one day soon, but this works out great. So
you bet.
Thank you so much.
So take it away, Mark. It's all yours.
I'm so excited to have Justin as our guest. But first, I want to do just a little bit of chamber business here. I'd like to welcome our new members that joined us in December. We have Marketplace Media that became a member. JPS Real Estate Ventures, Josh Schroeder became a member, and Clover Social Media, helping those with your social media needs, became members. So thank you so much for that. And a little bit of what's going to happen in 2021. We've done a couple events. We are doing industry roundtables. We've done one with the Restaurants and Bar Association. We just had one this last week with our trades and construction group. 25 different businesses joined us and really talked about needs and things that we can do as a chamber to help them. And we're going to continue this process with more roundtables throughout 2021. So keep your eyes open for that. And then our initiatives that we've been working on have not changed. We're still working on our Workforce Connections, which has had some great news. And just this past week, partnering with the Montana Department of Labor and Industry, the Chamber assisted in the creation of a statewide website that helps businesses connect with tomorrow's workforce. The site will allow employers to highlight unique opportunities that they offer. Earn While You Learn program for our youth, those coming out of high school or looking to retrain. We also found out this week that we're going to have some great support from our new governor, and so keep your ears open for more information on that coming soon. We're still working on the In All This Beats the Heart of a Grizzly decal campaign in conjunction with our University of Montana initiative. And then there's a little bit of activity going on up there in Helena, and we're keeping our ears to the stones on the legislature. We have a direct connection up there. Clint Burson, our Government Affairs Director, is watching what's going on closely, and we're still working with child care. So we're still working on some very strong community efforts, and we really thank our support. So now that the Chamber news is out of the way, I'm really excited to introduce Justin. What a great example of an entrepreneur. I got to spend some time and learn his story. Started out as an employee with Jakers and now owns 6 of them and is really doing things right in the restaurant and food and bar industry. So, Justin, please join us.
Hey, Justin.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Appreciate that, Mark. Thanks for having me. I want to thank the Chamber and Mark and Kim for putting us on here and giving us the opportunity to just talk about the state of the restaurant business, things that have gone on last year, things we're looking forward to in 2021, and putting me on after Kevin Horton. I don't have any eyewitness accounts for you of the Capitol building, but we can talk a little bit about food and restaurants and health and safety.
Absolutely. And I wanted to ask you, first of all, Jakers, it just never ceases to amaze me. Every night, Jakers seems to be full. The parking lot is full. And so tell me, what's going on there? Obviously, you're doing something right.
Well, careful now, though. We're half full, right?
I'm sorry. Sorry. Ellen, don't come down there. I'm just saying. Yeah. Anyway, go ahead. Yeah.
No, we try to take care of the guest and do the best that we can to make sure that everybody leaves happy. Our goal is to create memorable experiences, served by an obviously friendly team. And, it really comes down to taking care of our team members and making sure that they have the things that they need, the tools that they need to do their job right, having the communication be there and really just setting out with the goal of doing things right and really, being busy and profit and things like that are kind of a byproduct of a job well done, and that's really what we shoot for. And we've been really blessed through this whole thing, both at Jakers and Red Robin. We have so many loyal guests and supporters, and people in our regulars. We got to thank them for being there for us this whole time and really being adapting to everything that we've had to do and the changes that we've had to make in the last year. to keep things going strong and hopefully coming out of this thing stronger than we even went in.
Now, Justin, if you don't mind me asking, when this first started and the various policies were released by the health department, by the state, things like that, what did you do as an owner? I know you're a hands-on guy, so what did you do to help your staff and and of course your suppliers and everything, right down the line, right down to the folks walking in the door to enjoy what you've got at both your restaurants? What was the procedure of you doing all this?
Well, it was a scramble for sure. When it all seemed to hit so fast. And I'm not just a partner in Jakers. I'm also CEO of the company, and we have 6 Jakers in Idaho and Montana. We're a regional chain, and then we have the 2 Red Robins in Montana. So as CEO, my job was really to try to get out ahead of this thing and really anticipate what the next thing was going to be, because we didn't necessarily know exactly what was going to happen, and for a while there, it seemed like whatever the craziest thing you could think of was the next thing that would happen 2 weeks later. So we immediately got on the phone with different suppliers trying to get in different hand sanitizers and having those stations all around the restaurant. Finding the proper chemical to clean tables and sanitize touch points with that actually killed the virus. Trying to secure as much takeout packaging materials as I possibly could. I placed a massive to-go packaging materials order. Some of that stuff, didn't match what we normally did, but I figured there'd be a scramble for that. And then just trying to educate the team, immediately going into doing health surveys and temperature checks and trying to make sure that everybody understood the symptoms that were going on. But it was really hard at first because, we didn't know much about the virus. Nobody really did. And then, of course, we had the shutdown, and then we had some time go by to where we could learn a little bit more, about how it was spread and what was going on. So really just trying to stay out in front of it, read a lot, read everything I could find, communicate that to my managers, and just go execute that plan. And with the goal, honestly, in the beginning of keeping our team members safe, because we knew if we worked hard to keep our team members safe, then our guests would in turn also be safe.
You bet.
And of course, yeah.
I was just going to say, with that, we're about every 10 minutes we need to take a commercial break, so we're going to come right back. When we come back, Justin, if you don't mind, I want to ask you, during that time of the shutdown, there are 2 reactions, either fear or, okay, what can I do with this time, right? Well, how can I make this time profitable, even though we're not open?
Yeah.
So I wanted to ask you about that when we come back from the break. Also joining us on the phone, Mark Loesch, Director of Membership at the Chamber of Commerce. And we have 2 lines open if you have a question for Justin. Maybe a menu recommendation?
There you go, yeah.
Anyway, we're going to come right back with more of Talk Back right after this. Hey, this is Talk Back. We are back. 721-1290 is our number, 1-800-568-5309. Joining us on the phone right now, Mark Loesch, Director of Membership for the Chamber of Commerce. This is the Chamber of Commerce Hour for the month. And Justin Philbrick joining us on the phone from Jakers Bar and Grill, CEO, and also of Red Robin here in Missoula. Now, the question I asked you, Justin, was during the shutdown, what did you do with that time? A lot of folks were freaking out, but what were you doing?
We were focused on our main objective, and that was keeping our restaurants open, so that we could keep as much of our staff employed as we could, and, just working to keep our brand out there in the marketplace. Some restaurants, of course, chose to close down during that time where all you could offer was your takeout and delivery. But we really said, we got to stay open. We got to keep as many people employed as we can. We got to build this business back up, even if we can't serve full service dining. So we had to pivot pretty quickly. Luckily, we have a really good takeout packaging program at Jakers. We scrambled because we didn't have all our restaurants set up with online ordering. So we did that really quick. You can order online at jakers.com and choose your pickup time. We looked at the menu and we said, what is the best stuff for takeout? And so we tried to scale back to those items. And the same thing really followed suit at Red Robin as well. We had to really learn how to execute takeout really, really fast. I told my teams, I said, guys, when I walk in the kitchen, it should not look the same anymore. It should look like a takeout packaging, assembly line, and that's all I want to see. So transform these kitchens as fast as you can and get them ready. And so
Well,
that was basically the approach.
If you don't mind, Justin, we've got some folks. Actually, all of our phone lines are full now. You and Mark have lines 1 and 2, so the other 2 are full now. So let's get some callers in. Joe, good morning. You're on with Justin and Mark. Go ahead. What's your question?
Yeah, I assume that you're going to talk about Governor Gianforte's new directive, so that's obvious. But then with respect to this bill that was talked about yesterday, I'm a little ignorant on that. With the relationship between the county health department, directives versus, the legislature or the governor's. And anyway, I don't know anything about it, but please enlighten me.
Okay, well, thanks for the call, Joe. I will tell you that in my visits with the legislators who, and of course, we had the governor on talking about that, and the counties are independent. If they feel that it's better for their particular circumstance to not comply with those new directives, then they don't have to. However, I will tell you that in my conversation with Ellen Leahy just yesterday, they are working right now. They have another meeting of the Board of Health this coming Thursday, and they say they will be changing some things, but perhaps not going as far as the governor wants them to go. So in your case, Justin, it had to be exciting to hear what the governor had to say, and then just a little bit of a letdown that we can't take advantage of that right now in Missoula.
Yeah, and I'm glad that Joe brought that up in the question, because there's been a lot of confusion around that, and that's the question I've answered so much in the last couple of days since the governor came out with that new directive, and having to tell people, hey, well, he may have put that out there, but here's what we really still have to abide by. And so we have to abide by those directives at a minimum. But then we also have to look to our local offices, which I called the health department in Missoula right away, and I called the health department in Cascade County, where we have a Jakers over in Great Falls, and just to be sure. But obviously, it turns out we still have a 6-person maximum at our tables, 50% capacity in the restaurant, and we still have to close by 10. And no alcohol service after 10 o'clock. So the governor's directive really didn't change anything for Missoula County. It's all still the same as it was prior to that, and the same thing for Cascade County. Now, in Yellowstone County, where we have our Red Robin and Billings, last week, their health official, John Felton, he said that we no longer have directives and regulations for that county, and so basically he just deferred to the governor's mandate, and so that county can follow exactly what the governor came out with. But in Missoula and Cascade, we're a little bit different. So that's the confusion that kind of gets created there a little bit. So, and as far as the House bill, it sounds like they're trying to maybe say, okay, well, whatever the governor says, all the counties and stuff have to also do that. And, I'm not so sure how I feel about that. I kind of think that's one of those situations where it's be careful what you wish for. Maybe you don't want that.
Yeah, so. And I know it is painful for counties who are thinking, oh, this is great, but then our county is a little different. I know that in my conversations with our health officer, Ellen Leahy, one of the goals that they're shooting for is try to get down to 25 per 100,000, on a 3-week,
1 week average.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Anyway, so that's a pretty big road to hoe, because right now we're up around 60 or 70.
Now we're at 50.
At 50, okay, but still we have a ways to go.
Yeah.
So
we're all hoping here in the restaurant business, though, that they do next week decide to go with a plan that they actually had in place, and they were hours away from announcing and starting before I think the Revive Missoula group actually helped put it together in conjunction with the health department to allow the bars to stay open a little bit later, and work on some of those things. So a lot of us are really hoping for, and we're confident that we'd like to see a change in that next week.
So did the governor's announcement come as a little bit of a bad timing because you already had something worked out?
Well, his prior announcement did.
Right. Okay.
The 2 announcements ago, it would have been Bullock's announcement.
Right, yeah.
So,
gotcha.
Yeah.
All right, let's get Kevin on the line. Kevin, good morning. You're on with Justin and Mark. Go ahead.
Yeah, good afternoon. This is pretty much targeted to Justin, but maybe Mark can also fill in. When the lockdown came down in March and April, how much of the restaurant's business at the time before that was the takeout, such as, third-party delivery services, Uber Eats, Grubhub, DoorDash? How much of that was a part of your restaurant business? And since then, what has it occurred, or does it tame down since everybody's now heading back to the restaurants?
Yeah, no, that's a good question.
Thanks,
it's pretty
Kevin.
amazing, but we're less than 10% at Jakers in what we would call off-premise, which would combine, takeout in the restaurant, delivery from third party, and then any catering that we might do. And Red Robin was around 15%. And now, as we move through, and then of course when the shutdown hit, we dropped sales significantly because that was all we could sell. And then we built that back up over time. The 47 days that we were shut down by the end, we had probably tripled the takeout business that we did when it first started on the shutdown. Now we're sitting right about 20% off premise at Jakers, and as high as 30 to 34 at Red Robin is actually off premise and being delivered and picked up now.
Okay, with that, we're up against another break. We're getting more phone calls for you, Justin. 721-1290 is our number. This is the Chamber of Commerce Day. We're thrilled to have them as our partners once a month. Mark Loesch joining us, Director of Membership for the Chamber of Commerce, and Justin Philbrick, who is the CEO of Jakers, also of Red Robin here in Missoula. And we'll get Emmett's call when we come back. We have one line open, by the way. It's 721-1290. And we're back on Talkback. 721-1290 is the number. That's Nick Christensen over there. I'm Peter Christian. Joining us on the phone, this is Chamber of Commerce Day. Mark Loesch, Director of Membership, joining us this morning, as well as Justin Philbrick, CEO of Jakers and also owner of Red Robin here in Missoula. Now, before we get to Emmett's call, you just said something that sparked my interest, and that was the family-style dining that you had mentioned. You said you had a car rodeo going on during about Easter. What happened there?
Well, it was one of the things that we'd actually been toying with doing for quite some time, thinking that, taking home a prime rib dinner, wouldn't that be great? Everything that goes with it, all in one bag. And we had actually worked on that long before COVID ever hit. So when we got shut down, that's something that we pulled out right away and said, we've got to really actually try and do this. So we knew we had Easter coming. We knew we weren't going to be able to have dine-in for Easter. And so what we did was we took orders for these family meals. We had a turkey dinner meal. We had a prime rib meal. And people could come pick those up. And so we did a pickup meal from 11 in the morning until 6 o'clock at night. And we had cones set up, and we painted the parking lot. And we had these reservations all taken for people to come through and pick up their meals. And it was really cool. We had a meal picked up every 2 minutes for 7 hours. It was cool.
That blows my mind. And that had to be really heartening for you, because for people to do that, to go out of their way to do that, they must really value your business and your merchandise.
People were so appreciative, as they almost always are on holidays, just the fact that we're open and our team members are there working and stuff. But this was really a special time. I was outside on the curb. I was the greeter, so I would be out there and I'd tell them where to go park, and then I'd radio in, and my team members would bring the food out to the right car and stuff. But for the most part, people were just so appreciative that we were doing that and we were open, because they couldn't have big gatherings and they didn't want to make large quantities of food. This was just right for 4 to 6 people, just for that family. So, and we continue to sell those meals. You can order them on our website through online ordering. We've expanded the menu on that. We have 4 or 5 different family meals that you can pick up, and they're reasonably priced. They'll feed a family of 4 to 6 people, usually with some leftovers, and of course, scones and honey butter.
Don't go there. Don't go there. I'm gnawing on my microphone right now. So, and it's not very good either. And I put some mustard on it every now and then, but it doesn't do any good. Anyway, let's get Emmett on the line. Emmett, good morning. You're on with our guests. What's your question?
Oh, thanks for taking my call. Well, I was wondering, if you'll remember back in the 1990s, we used to have really nice all-you-could-eat buffets for about $5.49 to $6.49 at lunch, or maybe more for dinner, like Country Harvest Buffet. And in Lewiston, Idaho, then they had a Granny's. The whole idea was, for one low price, like maybe $5, $6 to $7, you could just load up your plate with a whole bunch of excellent food. The milk was free, the coffee was free, the soda pop was free, and you're absolutely stuffed. It was very wonderful. All-you-could-eat buffets of that type were very popular in the 90s. I just loved them. Is there any way we could open up. You guys could open up another family-friendly style, all-you-can-eat buffet for one low price.
All
Eat
right.
until you make yourself sick.
Let's let him answer that question. All right. So that would be a challenge today.
Yeah.
It sure would, and actually it would be against the health code right now. You can't have an open food buffet. We, of course, are pretty well known for our soup and salad bar that we've done for many, many years.
I missed that.
And a lot of people do, and we've transformed that into a soup and salad combo that you can order in much the same way, where the server will bring you unlimited refills of, tossed salad, Caesar salad, baked potato soup, and then we have some premium soups for a bit of an upcharge. But we've tried to kind of recreate that soup and salad bar through a situation where the server brings that to you. And we've had to pivot, as far as the buffet goes, because I don't think salad bars are going to be a real big thing of the future. I don't think buffets are going to be a thing of the future. Golden Corral has filed for bankruptcy during this pandemic, and I think Sizzler's not doing well. So I don't think buffets will be something that you'll really see going into the future. We've actually already are in the process of converting our salad bar space into our takeout headquarters with computers and printers and phones and everything that we need to run a really good takeout experience, and it's located to where our team members can see cars pull up into the curbside, and they can run out, and we'll have curbside payments where you can swipe your card on a handheld and all that kind of stuff. So sorry, Emmett, I don't see that. I don't see that in the cards.
Well, you know what amazed me is every now and then we would go to the Golden Corral, like after church and stuff, and I thought, how in the world can they afford to do this? Because they had a lot of food, and I don't want to know really the machinations behind it, but it amazed me that businesses like that lasted so long.
Well, Emmett keyed into one thing, and that was talking about the time frame in the 90s. Food costs was a much different situation in the 90s. Ethanol wasn't a thing. It didn't, corn didn't drive, fuel prices didn't drive corn prices and such. And so we're in a whole new ballgame when it comes to food costs these days, and serving a low price buffet like that is really tough to do.
Excellent. All right, we're up against another break, and we do have two lines open. If you have a question, Justin Philbrick joining us on the phone. He's the owner of the CEO of Jakers, also of Red Robin here in Missoula, and Mark Loesch also joining us, Director of Membership for the Missoula Chamber of Commerce. Chamber of Commerce Day. If you have a question or comment, lines are open at 721-1290. All right, we are back on Talkback. 721-1290 is our number. And, of course, that's Nick Christensen right over there. Joining us on the phone, we have Justin Philbrick, owner and CEO of Jakers, also of Red Robin. Mark Loesch, also joining us from the Chamber of Commerce. Now, we were just kind of chatting a little bit about what we all miss during football season. If you wouldn't mind, Justin, what was Grizzly Game Day like for you guys, especially for football?
Yeah, nothing's really the same anymore, and we have to anticipate, each event and how that's going to affect, business on those days. And, of course, those home Grizz games are great for businesses in Missoula, and, we'd love to see those back as soon as possible. And we would always, of course, see a big lift on Fridays and Saturdays anytime there was a home game.
Yeah, and Mark...
Yeah, we miss them.
Yeah, Mark, if you wouldn't mind chiming in a little bit from the Chamber of Commerce's point of view, I know in the many years I've been doing, news stories regarding, like with Patrick Barkey with the Department of Business Economic Research over at the University of Montana, and the economic impact of Grizzly sports. I think, Mark, we're all yearning for that to come back, aren't we?
Boy, we are, and I think it's really, really hard to quantify the loss of income and business in our community from last season. There's so many small pieces to it. Just at our location, our parking lot for every game is rented out, and there's enormous amount of activity around here. The press box, you can't even walk through their parking lot because it's so full. You look across the river and across the footbridge, you see all the tailgating, and everybody over there tailgating bought something to take over there to eat or drink or to be festive with. So it's been an unbelievable impact, and it's been amazing how strong our community is to have weathered it so far. So I'm excited that there's going to be football hopefully soon, and we get past this. But it's been a challenge for many of our members.
And Mark, I know one of the things, Justin would agree with this, that the Heart of a Grizzly program that the Chamber of Commerce has been championing here is just trying to get, especially during the holidays, trying to convince people to, hey, as easy it is to let your fingers do the walking and order online, we need to get out into our local businesses, including our restaurants and our cafes, and spend our money here.
You're exactly correct. And there's some ways that you can do things. Let's say that some folks just don't feel comfortable physically going into an establishment yet. Well, you could sure do some gift cards, some things like that as appreciations, and get some gift cards and hang on to them. And when things feel safer for you, then come in and use them. But it helps our businesses to continue. We're trying to really work hard on getting the decals out. The university gave us a very large supply of the decals that say, in Missoula, all of us beat the Heart of a Grizzly, and I'm continuing to get those out to members and non-members and businesses around town. But, yeah, if we just can focus on, what can I do today to help one small business every single day? And the businesses are helping each other, too. So I think we've done a really good job. We just have to stay on top of it. We just have to keep pushing it. And I've been in many businesses in the community in the past 6 to 7 months. And I don't know of any place that's safer in town to go right now than one of our restaurants. I mean, the amount of cleaning, the amount of caution and regulations that they're following is amazing. So I encourage you to take a peek. If you're not sure about it, call up and ask what the different business or different restaurants doing, as Justin described. Be clean and safe, and let's keep our businesses alive.
Now, Justin, I wanted to ask you. I realize that every restaurant, especially the restaurants such as yours, there are various competitors throughout town. But at times like these, you guys have to stick together and support each other. Is that correct?
We do, and that's what we've been doing. We have weekly Zoom calls with Montana Restaurant Association, and I've actually gotten to know more local restaurant operators than I had known in the past. Usually I was the guy who just kind of focused on his own businesses, but I've been able to meet some people, and, I'll echo what Mark said. The things that we're doing to keep our guests safe, if you're on the fence about going out to eat in a casual dining situation, I think you'll find when you get there that the things that we're doing, like healthy team members and surveys to make sure that they don't have symptoms and keeping them healthy, is helping to keep you healthy. The cleaning that we do between, sitting at the booths is totally different than it used to be. It's more thorough and has different products being used for that. Single-use disposable items being used and cleanable menus. We even have QR codes on our table, so it's a touchless menu. You can put your phone up against the QR code and go right to our website that's been redesigned. So it's just a continuous scroll down through our menu. So a lot of things going on to help keep you safe, in addition to being distanced, right? You don't have tables right next to you. There's space and dividers between booths and a lot of great things going on to keep people safe.
So let me ask you, Justin, we're all looking forward, the governor said this in his speech the other day, as we're always looking forward to the time when we can take those masks, have a big, gigantic mask burning party, and kiss this thing goodbye. What are the lessons that you have learned that once this is all over and we're able to have full capacity and full hours, what kind of things are you going to take with you that you have found really works to endear yourself to the customer?
Well, I think there are some silver linings through all of this. It's a tough question because there's just really so many ways I could go with that as far as answering it. But I think what we've done and what this has caused us to have to do, and I think other restaurants, know this as well, and they've had to do the same thing. But you got to be good at what you're doing. You got to make sure that, the procedures that you put in place, the product that you aim to serve, that you're hitting that mark every single time. We've taken a hard look at menus and really tried to get down to the best of the best, right? So every meal is exactly what you would expect it to be at Jaker's and at Red Robin. We've really tried to streamline that takeout business. Take a look at things that we can do in the bar that are more fun, with maybe expanding happy hour a bit and stuff. But I don't think there'll necessarily be one day where everybody just says, okay, it's over. I think we'll come out of it gradually. similar to the way it's gone throughout the past year. I really do look forward to 2021. I think there's a lot of positive that's going to happen. And I think by, we getting into summer, hopefully into fall Q4, we should be really back to doing some volumes that we've done in the past.
Now, I know that you have been very, very concerned about your wait staff. I know a lot of folks in your business have been suffering. What kind of things are you doing to help your staff, to maintain even when your business has been down a little bit?
Yeah, I got to give a shout out to my teams, both teams that we have in Missoula. Thank you guys. I mean, you've done just such a great job, and it's been tough. I mean, we've been through the last year of contact tracing, and the slightest sniffle, whether it's a cold or anything, you can't work. So everybody's really come together. And those times where we don't maybe have enough staff that day, I mean, hiring. If you've been in the restaurant business, the past year it's been difficult on hiring. For a while there certainly weren't very many applicants. I think we draw a lot of students from the university. There's obviously less kids coming to town, and so the hiring pool wasn't what it was, but they've just done an amazing job of coming together and stepping up where they need to. And we've just tried to communicate to them, be consistent, and do everything we can to build business, because that's really what they thrive on is building business. They work on tips in a lot of cases, and if people are coming through the door, then they'll do just fine. You
bet. We're up against our last break. It's a 60-second timeout. By the way, our folks on the phone are Justin Philbrick, is the owner, CEO of Jakers, and also of Red Robin here in Missoula. Mark Loesch is also with us, the Director of Marketing. This is the Chamber of Commerce Day on Talkback. We'll continue in 60 seconds. Hey, this is Talkback. 721-1290 is our number. Been a great program so far. Talking, of course, this is our Chamber of Commerce Day. Mark Loesch joining us, Director of Membership for the Chamber. Also, Justin Philbrick. He's the CEO of Jakers and also the owner of Red Robin here in Missoula. So, Mark, I understand you wanted to jump right in here. Please go ahead.
Yeah, everything that we've talked about that Justin is doing with his restaurants at Jakers and Red Robin, many of our other restaurants and food industry in town are doing the same thing. This is an effort by everybody to really analyze what they're doing. How can we be safe and serve great products? So I want the public to know that not only is Jakers doing the best they can, but many of our other establishments are also doing the exact same things. And that's the reason so many of them are still open and they're still surviving. But there's a lot of them that are on the edge. And if we don't do some things to get some more business, or things don't open up a little bit, we could have some of our businesses in trouble. So I'm asking everybody to step up and support when you can. That's all.
Justin, I wanted to ask you something really quick. We haven't talked a lot about Red Robin during the show. We've been focusing a lot on Jakers. And I remember going to Red Robin about 10 years ago or so when I moved here, and you guys had kind of just started that remodel phase. And I've been in there many times since, and it's so different in there now, and the menus kind of remain the same, but you kind of also made some changes in kind of a different direction from 10 years ago. I was hoping you could talk a little bit about that and maybe how profitable that's been for you.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. First of all, I love the look and feel of the Red Robin and the way it is right now. It's a little less busy with the decor. It's a little bit more upscale. We call it polished casual. And the thing that I've always loved about Red Robin is the food. To me, there's a lot of chains out there that you could go eat at. But I don't think any of those chains really compare to the food that we serve at Red Robin. And, some of the things you're talking about were what they called the barbell approach to the menu. Before those changes, we had, 25 gourmet burgers, and we had our bacon cheeseburger and our royal burger with the over easy egg on top. Well, what we did was we added a finest line, which was an Angus patty. And then we added what are called the Tavern Double line. So that was a $6.99 introductory price burger with our bottomless steak fries. And the finest burger was to really cover both ends. So we had kind of the whole spectrum as far as the burger menus went. And I just think that Red Robin still is the burger authority. Our fries are amazing. Our servers do such a great job of making sure that your drinks are full, your fry refills are there. The kids have a great time. It's a good family place, and it's been really great for us. The addition of H&M next door and working with the mall to move our bar and attach it essentially to the front of the restaurant. that was a really good change. I think that changed the dynamic and the look and feel a little bit and enhanced our patio. So it's been really good for us. I think Shields coming to the mall is going to be a great thing. I'd love to see AMC open and going, full bore again someday. It's been okay.
All right. So as you obviously one of the things you do as a CEO is you're a planner, right? You're always looking ahead. You can't just rest on your laurels. So as you look to both of these fine restaurants here, Jakers and Red Robin, as things get better, what are your plans for both those?
We're still working on, certain things just to adapt to what's going on right now. In fact, we're coming up with a way to put a drive-through into one of our Jakers that we have in Idaho as an experiment to see how that goes without, really a full structure and a window. So we're working with that. We're going to do whatever we can with technology to kind of help things run a little bit smoother, from ticket times to, guest ordering and credit card transactions to make them, safer and more touchless. So we're looking at things like that.
Now, I wanted to ask you, too, when people call in for, say, a steak dinner or whatever, do you give them, be here 30 minutes from now or 45 minutes from now or 20 minutes from now rather than having them just wait out in the parking lot forever and ever?
Yeah, we do. And that's a tricky business, obviously, because, we have things coming at us from all angles now. We have reservations where people are doing dine-in. We have online ordering that we need to manage, right, because we can't just do everybody's order and have it all ready right at 5 o'clock, right? It doesn't work like that. We have 3 delivery services, so we're managing tablets and orders coming in from that. And then, of course, we have call-ins, So what we try to do is manage those so that we have a target pickup time. And we want that food ready just before that guest gets there so that when they get there, it's fast. It's an easy pickup. We can bring the food right out to the car. We love it. We love it when they come in and do it that way as well. And you mentioned a steak dinner. The packaging that we do, you can get a great steak at Jakers and take it home and eat it. And, we actually serve a disposable steak knife with our takeout steaks. I don't know of anybody that's doing that. I think it's a really cool thing because if you're going, back to the hotel or a hospital or eating in your car or your office, you're actually going to get a steak knife so you can cut your steak.
That's awesome. We're almost completely out of time. So, Mark, any closing comments in the last minute we have here?
Yes, I'll make this quick. We've had an interesting 2020 and moving into a 2021, I think, with a lot of excitement. I just want to thank our members and our membership for the support and help that they gave us in these past 12 months. We've done some amazing things here. We're continuing to do more amazing things, and this wouldn't have happened without our loyal members of the Chamber of Commerce. So thank you so much from all of us at the Chamber.
You bet. And Justin, we want to say thank you for sharing your expertise with us. It's nice to see how things are working with folks who are on the front lines of what you guys are doing. We appreciate you being with us today.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I appreciate it. Just one last shout out to my teams in Missoula. Thank you guys for doing such a great job, and to frontline workers in Missoula as well. They've just done an amazing job, amazing sacrifice over this past year. And so thanks for having me on.
Yeah, if you ever need any more radio ads, I'm still here.
There you go.
Thanks, guys. Take care.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Thank you so much.